Good morning, merry band of mutants. I'm Ivory, and welcome to this video. Today we are going over ward placements. I've had a lot of you ask me about where to put wards and what are good places over okay places versus bad places, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with jungle and go from there. So as a jungler, I'm starting with red with Shyvana. So when I start red, I'm going to have my bot lane and my mid lane here most likely, so I'm not really going to need to ward, though someone will probably throw a trinket in this bush. I can, doesn't matter. But I will start off. So after I do red, I'm going to make my way to wraiths and wolves and over to my blue buff. Now I want to make sure no one's going to steal my blue buff. So what I like to do is I like to ward this bush here with a trinket. For my first time around as a jungler, I'll take a trinket and then I'll just take a sweeping lens. So I'll go ahead and go for my blue buff that'll be here, and then I won't have to worry about anyone coming up behind me with a ward in this little section here. As a jungler, you can be pretty versatile. Whenever I go back, I always have at least one or two wards depending on what item I have. I usually have a ward placement item, and then I will grab another ward along with my sleeping lens unless I have a trinket. I like to ward their red buff. I also like to ward inside here and also sometimes here, just to keep an eye on their movement in the jungle, which is incredibly important. As a jungler, you should always know where your other jungler is for the enemy team. That way you can always keep track of where they are, where their ganks are going to end up, and so they don't counter gank you, and so you can stay ahead of them if you are jungling, if you are counter jungling. So I like to ward here in their blue buff before their blue is about to pop up around 650-ish. It's plenty of time. Or I will tend to help out the lanes. I will ward for bottom, I will ward here, and I will also ward here or here. And that is where you would ward as a jungler. It's pretty versatile, and also it's pretty much the same for both sides, just flip-flopped. Alright, so now we got our supports. Where are my supports at? Holla! Alright, so as a support on the blue side, please don't ward here. Please don't ward here. The only reason why I say don't ward there is because if you are being crazy, hyphy mode, and you're fighting right here, and they decide they want to come around the back, or they want to come down the river, you have zero time to finish what you're doing and get away, especially if they exhaust you, if they stun you, snare you, all that good CC. You don't want to ward here. It is not enough time to get away. As a blue lane, or as a blue side support, I ward dragon and I ward tri-bush, or I'll throw a pink in here and I will ward here because they like to come around the back. If mid is not warding here or here, they like to come around the back here. A lot of Lee Sins will do a ward jump over the wall right here and get all sneaky in your back door, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. So you really need to focus on the fact that 2 seconds extra to walk down this river is so much better than warding in this god-awful spot and not having enough time to get away as a support. And just as the game starts to progress, it's good to keep an eye on their blue buff. You can ward here, you can ward their tri, just to get an idea. If they have a Thresh, ward their tri-bush, because Thresh can lantern and hook into you with the Fury of 1,000 Suns. So just keep an eye on that. But please, just don't ward this bush. Alright, sorry. Still a little worked up about that. As a mid laner, you want to ward places where you can really see a lot. So personally, one of the biggest things that I see and that I have done is put a pink ward in this bush, which is fantastic because not a lot of people will walk through here. They'll just kind of come down, they'll come around. Very rarely early game does anyone walk through this bush, so it's pretty good. Unless someone actually throws a ward in it, then they will actually see the pink. You can also throw a pink in here, and that keeps your enemy from warding Yochiz and you can keep them out of your jungle from your bot lane. So on this side, because a lot of junglers tend to start blue, go red, go top, come mid, or start blue, go red, go race, come mid. I tend to get ganked from the left side like 70% more than the right side. So I like to ward here because if you look at the vision that it provides, when you are not standing over there, you can see them come out of their jungle, you can see top come, and you can see if they have actually gone into your jungle and come around. Either way, I don't like warding side bushes because, again, like this devil bush down here, it's just not enough time to get away if you actually see the jungler or you see somebody coming to gank you. I also like to ward right in here. You can ward this bush, but I just like to ward here because you can see them coming from this way. You can see them. A lot of times you can actually see them when they're at their wraiths because they stand here and you can kind of see them. You can see them if they come around and come out of their jungle. If their top lane is doing their job, if your top lane is doing their job, they should have a ward here or here, here, and they should be already covering that part of the river for you, so you can see them come out this way, and you can see them come out here. Alright, cool stuff. So top lane, pretty much the same as bottom lane as far as just keeping these covered. If you only have a trinket and you are on the blue side, it's not the greatest spot, but you can see this little corner right here of Baron Pit. I will ward that tiny little corner just as a landmark because you can see them come down from here and you can see them come out of their bush. It's not the best place, but it's in tricky situations, it's not terrible. I will typically ward in their tri-bush, and I will come all the way down here and ward by Baron. Again, evil bush, don't ward here. It's not enough time to get away. Same thing as bottom. As a top, I will also delve into their jungle, and I will ward by their red buff, just to keep an eye on it, keep an eye on jungler movements, and then I will sometimes I like to throw a pink in here as a top laner because not a lot of people walk through here. Again, early game, they kind of come, jungle comes this way, mid comes from the bottom, so you can put a pink ward there, and then if mid does come up through here, you can see them, they'll usually stop to kill your pink, and by then it'll probably be there for a few minutes, and you'll have enough time to get away. And you can keep your trinkets. As a top, I usually keep about 2 wards. I'll keep my trinket and I'll go back and buy a ward every time. That way I can always have 2 spots. I'll usually put my main ward in here and my trinket down here until I actually upgrade my trinket, and I will have 2 3-minute wards in fantastic spots. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video, and I went ahead and made you guys little templates for good places, okay places, and bad places, also pink wards for both blue and purple side, and if you want to download those pictures yourself and do some studying, I put them in Imager links in the description below. So please give me a thumbs up, it really helps me out, and leave any comments for anything you would like to see next or any questions that you have for me. I hope to see you guys soon, and you have a great week. Bye-bye. Oh, it fucked up. Oh my god, no! No, I don't like this. What the fuck?